I ran across one of these lists of the dog names. They're always talking about what's the most popular dog name. Don't you go out of your way not to use the popular names? They tell me that the most popular dog name is Max, but I have never once met a dog named Max.
I never even hear the name Max.
Come on,
Max.
That's like Rover. Nobody names their dog Rover. Tigger, I could see that maybe.
It's the most popular name for cats, too.
That's freaky.
Max the cat. Maybe it's Maxine.
I don't know. You know what I want to know? I want to know, have you gone out of your way to find a really unique name for your dog? Like Dog Breath? Dog Face. We call our dog Dog Face.
Dog Face? That's
not his real name. His real name is Rafiki Ami. It's supposed to mean friend in 2 languages. We were really shooting for that friend thing.
That's
what we really should have named him is there a name for
Pooh?
Pooh in several languages that nobody would recognize.
476-1057. So what'd you name your dog?
My niece has a dog named Dog.
Dog.
Dog, that's a great
D-O-G.
D-O-G.
Chuck and Kelly.
We were talking earlier about the dog getting into the peanuts. I thought that was pretty weird. I didn't think a dog would like peanuts. Maybe because they were salty. What is the attraction? Anything that is left anywhere that they can get into, that they will eat. Did you ever have a dog that got into anything weird? Like, I think I remember you telling me how your dog snatched your steaks once and hid them in your shoes.
Oh, that's a good story. Yeah, that hid them in my shoes. No, we were having a graduation party. There were 3 steaks, 3 London broils on the counter, right? And it started to thunderstorm. It was a Saturday. My littlest kid was at Little League. I had to run out of the house. I ran down to Little League to get him because, thunder, they take them off the field and they're stuck there. So I wanted to get him, but I forgot that the dog was out. And I come back and there's 1 steak. I called my wife and said, how many steaks did you leave out? She said, 3. I looked at there was a blood-soaked, the thing that is in the container of the steaks on the floor, and 2 steaks were missing.
It sounds like this dog saved you from salmonella.
Right. No. The odd part of the story. Well, you left them out. They were defrosting. Mm-hmm. I know. We don't do anything like you do it, Kelly. Whatever you do. You have a server come in. But the bottom line of the story was that the dog apparently ate the other steaks. At least I thought. I found a half a steak.
Yeah, but how'd you find it? That was the funny part.
My wife said that the sneakers in the closet smelled.
And she says,
those are
her feet always stink.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, so I just closed the door. But I'm saying, that really is rank. So I get on my hands and knees, go down in the corner of the closet. Now, you know what the corner closet looks like.
Yeah.
Mine had tax returns and
Dust
papers.
bunnies.
And there was a steak attached to a bunch of papers that I had to peel out of there and off the floor, half a steak.
Wow, now you know how CSI feels.
Yeah.
I discovered that my dog had gotten into something that he shouldn't have. Poor little thing. He was having.
Did you have somebody come in, or did he go to the kennel?
He was having a tough time. No, we put him in the kennel for a day, for overnight from Thursday to Friday.
Oh, did he? That was the first time, wasn't it?
And they were supposed to give him a bath and everything, and they did, and that was good. It was his first time that we were separated in our 2 years together. And so anyway, I left the dog his own dog food, but then I took him out for a walk, and I try to be observant of the dog's activities while we're out for the walk, especially since I have to pick up after him. And I thought, wow, I started watching him, do his thing. And I thought, I wonder if they must not have fed him the food I left.
No.
That was the first thing I thought, because it looked funny. And then I realized the dog had gotten into a can of peanuts. And now I know why it looked funny.
I'm sorry to hear this.
Well,
they do get...
been going on for days now.
We had the problem with one of the dogs when he was put in the kennel the first time, because they do get separation anxiety. He got these gas bag things. They have a situation where their back end blows up.
I've never heard of this
yes,
one.
Well,
Tell me more about this.
It's a problem.
Do you have this?
No, my dog did. And when he came home after this horrible experience,
and it's called a gas bag?
I don't know what it's called. It's something that causes him to have horrible gas.
I think it's because they fed him a different kind of food.
No, this is a nervous thing that blows up these things in his backside. And
really?
This dog could float away. I mean,
I just want to tell you that when they change their food for a day,
I understand
that can create the same kind of problem.
They wouldn't change their food. You usually bring your food with them and give them some.
And is that what you did?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. It had nothing to do with that. But this particular dog, this happens when they get very afraid.
Oh.
They it's like flotation devices.
So are you telling me that generally speaking, men are very afraid, but they don't want to show it?
Yes, we went to the boss's wedding over the weekend.
Yes, we did.
We each got an invite.
Yes, we got really.
So we
nice
kind of
gifts.
almost went out with each other there.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But there were a lot of people that went stag. There was at least 3 of us sitting there. Had our respective...
The whole staff, yeah, different staff. I think that's pretty much how it
There
went
was
out.
only one guy who brought his wife, and I thought, wow. This is kind of like the Christmas party.
So
they go alone. No, but
I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
This is interesting because I just looked at Kelly when this happened, and another guy from another table comes up and starts talking to an acquaintance of ours, and
he's talking
and doesn't
about somebody
realize
we know really well.
Yeah, like my ex-former wife, and it's going on with this story. And obviously he doesn't know that I'm sitting there or doesn't connect that I used to be married. And it's what do you do, email SOS lady? Do you ignore it? Do you bring it up later?
No, I think you sit there. It depends on whether you like the person anymore.
Just take the story in.
Absolutely.
And listen to every little facet of it.
If it's somebody you really like.
Yeah.
I guess then you could make judgments on what was being said.
I don't, I tried to maintain say nothing bad.
I thought it was very cool to just pretend you didn't even know this person. See, sometimes if somebody's doing that, I egg them on. Really? What'd she do next?
Yeah, that's you. That's you. That's really you.
It is
Get
me.
every ounce of information out of that.
I'd be like, oh, you're kidding.
What would they say? What did they say?
Then what?
And, jeez.
Good morning, Chuck and Kelly.
Chuck was just giving me a little rundown of some of the interesting things he had seen at weddings. Like this whole, you don't have to have the wedding crashers come to your wedding, I guess, to have really sick things happen. I'd like to have seen that one where the people were backing up to get just the right picture and ended up in the water.
Oh, yeah, that was a little stream. It was
Where
after
was
a bad... It was up in Altamont.
Oh, at the Apple Inn?
I don't name names.
Well, what's wrong with that? It wasn't like they pushed them. I mean, you're just so strange.
Things happen. I mean, I had it one where a judge didn't show up. They listen to us all the time, too. They have for years. They're still married, and it's a wonderful thing.
Well, who married him? You?
No.
Do you think that's legal?
They finally got, this went on for 2 hours, and they had before I was to go on, as a DJ, they had some singers that were out of I think they even repeated the same songs. I mean, they just had
to keep singing?
Yes.
Oh, don't you love it when they bring those medieval singers in?
It was a bad Adam Sandler movie. I mean, they just sang the last song one too many times, and I got into it, and they're looking at me.
Like, what do? We just keep singing until this dude arrives?
And then you've seen some of the medieval type.
Oh, I like it. It's sort of that, it sounds like a bunch of monks kind of chanting and stuff.
No, and then sometimes they bring the harp in. The harpist.
Oh, yes.
Nancy Walco does that. I see her ad all the time. We're used to.
Well, that's good to be a harpist.
It's a lost art, isn't it?
Evidently, it's not a lot of kids take that up.
We should have that here. During
a nice little harp. I'm sure we do have one. Why don't you?
I mean a person who sits here and plays the harp while we do this.
I just love it.